Hello and welcome to the 51st episode of the Gochuucast, one away from the long-awaited one-year anniversary and my finale episode. But yeah, no, today we're doing something a little new, because we're planning on episode 53 beyond probably not having specific topics for the most part, I guess. Not that we won't ever have them.
Probably still, yeah.
We'll find some game show or something.
Yeah, we'll probably still have our seasonal random episode too, where we're like, oh yeah, it's now summer, so let's talk about summer. We'll have those. Probably.
All the filler episodes in between though are going to be just whatever the fuck, I guess.
Filler arcs.
Yeah.
Yeah, the filler arc.
Oh, filler arcs. Oh yeah, yeah. So we're gonna. What's that website? It's like it lists all the filler episodes of every anime. I don't know if you guys.
Oh yeah. There is.
So there's gonna be a similar.
Because I've had to use it for Black Clover.
Yeah.
You'll never believe it's called anime filler list.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna get on anime filler lists as our podcast. And so there's going to be filler episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
When are we going to get on IMDb?
How off the rails does the podcast have to go to be considered a filler episode? Does it have to be like what we did last episode, but the whole time we're just talking about
logistics for like 20 minutes?
Yeah, maybe. But it has to be the whole episode while we're still marketed as an anime podcast.
Right. Okay.
I think that's what classifies as filler.
That's a good one. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'd have to talk about, I don't know, what's tangentially related to anime that isn't like actually about anime.
Western cartoons.
Yeah, there you go. No, that's not a filler episode. That's a special, bro. That's a special.
It's the April Fool's special we forgot to do.
April Fool's that we totally forgot.
That's fine.
How do we get an IMDb? I feel like they do have a podcast section. How do we get on that?
Yeah.
I don't even know what's on it. I assume it's just like huge ones, right? Like maybe Trash Taste or like.
I mean, it's probably just the big ones, yeah. But
or like Jason and Travis Kelsey's podcast, things like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't think we need to be on IMDb.
Yeah, IMDb's it's not for anime.
I mean, there is anime on IMDb.
Hey, there's a few. I think I guess like Attack on Titan and stuff like that. So. Makes sense.
Like probably literally anything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do wonder. Like, I wonder how like IMDb ratings versus like analyst ratings like are different. Not like the rating system, but like, are there shows that are like really highly rated on Analyst and My Anime List, but are like really don't have as good ratings on IMDb and vice versa? You know, that's what I'm curious about. I feel like in general, Analyst and My Anime List are like almost the same, or like pretty close to it, right? Like in general, like the number one anime is like probably top 3, right?
Looking at IMDb's ratings, why the fuck is it showing an episode, not just the whole? All right, whatever. Full Metal Alchemist is the number 1 rated on IMDb.
Okay, well there you go. I mean, yeah, I assumed it would be about the same, but you never know.
I don't know why it's showing a specific episode here, but Attack on Titan's number 2, it looks like. It's tied, it looks like, at least, both at 9.1. Yeah, I mean, it's all, like, generally the same, except for fucking Silver Fang. I don't know where that is on My Anime List, but it's pretty high on IMDb.
Silver Fang?
Yeah.
I've never heard of.
What is this?
That's fucking Silver Spoon. Where's Silver Fang? It's so fucking irrelevant. I can't even find it on.
This shooting star Jin. What is this?
What is
it's a boomerang.
It says original title Ginga, Ginga.
Ginga.
I have no fucking clue.
Dude, this is some boomer. I don't know why it's on IMDb. It's rated by like 2 people.
I found it. Yeah, it's this.
Bro, there's a dog named Smith.
Let me
I'm done. Like, does it have a lot of ratings on IMDb or like what? Like, this is insane. Like, I've never heard of this anime in my life.
It's from the 80s.
Yeah, but like, who's rating it? Like 2 people? Like,
I have no fucking clue.
It's the 4,000th most popular anime.
It's the number 8 anime on IMDb.
Great.
With nearly 3,000 votes.
Oh, and the sequel is Ginga Densetsu Weed. It's a weed. Oh, great. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of this. This is news to me.
I've never heard of this, and I don't know. I don't know what to think about this.
What to think about it? There we go. We found a new anime thanks to IMDb, but I don't think I'm gonna watch this. I'm not a big fan of like these 80s.
I don't know. I mean, everything on here is like mostly what you'd expect, except for a few random ones, like something from this season. Why Ray Liana ended up at the Duke's mansion is an 8.7, but it only has 38 votes, so it doesn't really mean anything.
It's a group of 38 people who voted. They were all diehard fans.
If we wanted to, we could get something completely random to.
We could
to the top.
We should get gamers to the top.
I don't think we're gonna be doing that.
We could not do that.
Where is gamers on IMDb?
It has to be pretty low, right?
Let's see. Gamers is rated 6.6.
Okay.
It's a little high.
It's got 1.6 thousand ratings. There are 188 unfortunate souls who thought gamers was at 10.
They're misguided.
It's not that they're misguided. They've just never talked to another person in their life.
Oh, okay. Is that
That's
it?
how it
Maybe
goes.
that's the only anime
They're
they've
like,
seen.
oh my god, the 15th misunderstanding this season. It keeps getting me, dude.
Yeah, that's.
There's also ranked in the 20s. There's a show called Daigunder, which is a battle robot show. This looks lit.
Wait, what's it called?
Here, I'll just tag it.
Daigunder. Daigunder. Yeah, I've never heard of this in my life. This is like something you'd see on like, I don't know, Cartoon Network or something.
This show is about a tournament of battle robots who are shaped like humans and transforming animals. They're transformers. If the damage taken off your team HP hits 0, you lose. If you interfere or cause a penalty, you get a yellow card.
Okay, that sounds.
So this is just like Robo
not interesting.
Fight Soccer.
Yeah.
This is like that high school robotics club where you would make like the robots with a saw.
Yes. Yes.
Run them into each other. And
yes.
And this shit's lit.
Oh my god, you're bringing back memories, bro. High school robotics club was insane, dude. This might actually be it. This is the same thing.
This is it. This is high school robotics club.
Okay, 104 ratings. I'm not trusting this. I'm actually curious, like who's rating stuff on IMDb, because I feel like dedicated anime fans like usually just go to My Anime List or Analyst. So maybe these are like more casual anime fans who go on IMDb. I don't know. That's just my theory.
It also, I guess, could be like,
boomers,
like something that's I mean, boomers applies, or just like 104 people is not many. So I guess it's probably just random people. Like in the context of IMDb, which has tens of thousands of people daily getting on it, this could just be 104 people's like favorite thing that they grew up watching or something. This is from what, 2002? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure who's rating stuff on IMDb, because like it's definitely not the same people who are rating on the list. I don't know. Maybe it's the same people. It's just diehard fans that go to each different rating platform and just like artificially inflate the rating of their favorite anime. But I've never heard of Daigunder. I wonder if they're like, yeah, I just wonder because like, there are like a lot of shows. I shouldn't say a lot, but like there are some shows that like, I feel like, how do I say this without being like,
say it,
like, them. No, it's not insulting or anything. It's like people who are not anime fans, I feel like there's some anime that's like more approachable to them versus ones that are like, if you've seen a lot of anime, you kind of, I don't want to say desensitized, but like some aspects of anime, it's like, yeah, so I'm just wondering, like, there might be shows on like IMDb. I mean, you don't have to look through all the ratings, but like, those that are held in high regard amongst anime fans, amongst like diehard anime fans, and really like invested people who are really invested in anime, and then like for the average person, it just like does not appeal at all. So I don't know. Maybe
I mean, it's like when we talk about, like I really like the Fates, right? And I could never tell someone to watch a Fate if they're not already
a closet fan.
Yeah, like it's just not like Fate Zero is not an entry anime. Like you have to you have to know what you're signing up for, but also two, I feel like there's somewhat of like a knowledge of how anime is that a lot of them kind of require, and that's why something like a Sword Art's easy for people to consume
Yeah.
because it just gives you everything. You
Yeah.
don't have to like have knowledge of like what the medium is about and what are like tropes that you're gonna see for the first season of Sword Art.
Sure.
After that, they'll start shoving the tropes at you, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck is going on?" But deal with that next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do wonder. It's just like, yeah, I think the tropes thing is also really big. I feel like
Tropes
I
are
feel
big
like
in everything.
yeah, no, but I think like if they're too extreme, I feel like it can turn people off. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean
The average person.
yeah, especially like some of like I remember when I first started watching anime, the Irregular at Magic High School was on Netflix, and me and my buddy tried and watched it, and it was very much just like we've watched one or two episodes, and it was just like, no, this is the weird part
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
anime.
Yeah, there's so many shows I just feel like I'd never be able to show to people. Like it's just weird.
Yeah, which I don't think I'll ever watch the Irregular at Magic High School.
Mhm.
But it's only a little bit weirder than a lot of the stuff that I do at this point have watched and
Yeah, I
enjoyed.
guess that's true.
At
Just get
this
used
point,
to
I
it.
have no standards.
Yeah,
Well, I
which
have
is fair.
some. But I won't like. Inukaya is a step in the direction that I don't need to go, but I don't know.
Here you are.
I've watched Redo of Healer. I'm like, I think I know my boundaries now.
Okay, yeah, that is never coming out of my mouth if I'm talking to another person, like a person who doesn't know anime.
They don't.
Even
Yeah, they
someone who
don't
does
gotta
know
know.
anime. Just
But yeah, like this is a good example to me because if I knew nothing of it and I tried watching this now, maybe I would like it. But given that it was one of the first things I watched and it like crossed those anime trope boundaries like too fast for me, I was like, nope, can't touch that at all.
yeah.
Yeah, like I've seen some people try and say like No Game No Life is an entry anime, and I'm like, I don't know. There's like I don't know, like 5 minutes in, you get like, lolly panties immediately, and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
that's not really entry at all.
yeah.
The problem is I get it, but I do think that it's important for entry anime to like not throw all the tropes at you immediately. Because I think that there are a lot of tropes in anime that are weird. I'll say it.
I mean,
No,
Like
I
no,
mean,
Demon
no,
Slayer.
really,
yeah,
that's
everybody like
crazy.
everybody agrees.
Like
Yeah.
Demon Slayer is a great entry anime because it shows you eventually a lot of anime tropes, but it kind of does it
It's a more
slowly over time.
digestible.
And
Yeah.
exactly. It's monkey, and you get cool animation and stuff. And I think that as people watch a lot of anime, Demon Slayer probably shouldn't be their favorite thing that they've
Mhm.
watched, unless it's just like, oh, it's their first one, and so there's some bias there. But I do think that it is like a great example to be of just a good entry
No, that's
because
true.
it doesn't come at you too fast, and it gives you the cool things of anime as well.
Yeah, it's like food. Like, if you don't want to show someone like some extremely, you don't want to feed someone something
if
extremely
if
exotic.
someone is eating for the first time,
You probably don't
you
want
need
to
to
feed them
show them
like escargot
normal
or
food.
something. Probably want to start off with like a potato chip or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, makes sense. You just want to
Yeah.
introduce them.
It's funny that we mentioned Demon Slayer and then how no one should recommend Fate. But I had a friend who was going through Demon Slayer. He's like, "This is really good." I'm like, how do I get him out of like the basic shonen realm? Because he's watched like Naruto, Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, Hunter x Hunter. I'm like, let me let me tell you about this thing called
but then
Fate
it's
Zero.
fine. Yeah, but then it's fine because it's like they're anime literate in a way, right? So now it's okay to show them the fates and the stuff that's the next step. Um, Whether they like it more or not is a different question. But I would say that like that progression makes sense. So once they've watched kind of the Naruto's, the Demon Slayers, all of that, that's when you can recommend the Fates and the the 86s,
Yeah, I was
the
like,
the One Pieces.
You should look at this Fate Zero thing. It's the same. It's the Demon Slayer studio. Just, it'll be totally fine. I don't know. I feel like there are definitely people who don't really grow out of it, though. I guess.
Just a preference thing.
I think it's fine to an extent, but there's so much more stuff. Is kind of my the thing for me that eventually it was just because I was in just the shonen bubble for a while when I started watching things. I think the first thing that kind of started getting me out of that was Code Geass.
Code
Because it
Geass is
was
a
something.
surprisingly good intro anime. I feel like for most people.
Yeah,
I feel like it's like enough weird stuff to be different, but it has enough it's a I feel like well, I guess it depends on the person, but it has a lot of it deals with real humans, which sounds really stupid, but it's like humans, right? So um and the story is not super hard to follow, and the powers are easy to understand for the most part. So
I thought Code Geass was a great thing for me. That was kind of that bridge between watching, the Sword Arts, the Attack on Titans, the Naruto's, and all of that, the really easy to consume entries, and getting me into Code Geass was kind of what took me to that next level. That was oh, they do a lot of cool shit with some of this other genres, or even just anime that maybe aren't as popular in the spheres that I had been in at that point.
yeah, that makes sense.
And then now look at me, I'm watching fucking idol anime and rom-coms. That's
no, I mean,
yeah.
if people stick with it's also I don't know, just how much people want to dedicate or how interested people are in a specific thing, right? If people watch just watch shonen anime, it's whatever, that's their thing, right? Obviously you'd like them to see different stuff because you think it's better or something, but it's also I don't know, it's just everybody has a different level of, I don't want to say dedication, but um desire to explore in each of their hobbies or anything they do. I know people who eat the same meal every day, which
That's
is insane to me. I love trying every different food possible. I'll try anything, and
bro.
if
I have 5 go-tos and they just rotate.
yeah, I could not do that. I would go insane. Eating the same meal more than twice in a row is it's I already get tired of it. So it's the same thing with anime, right? Or similar, right? Where it's yeah, you'd like people to try other things, and it hurts you when they watch some anime that you think is average, but and they don't want to try anything else. But it's well, I don't know. Some people are just different in that way. So
It also depends
yeah.
though how much they watch to frequency. Because you could go a long time just watching shonens if you're only watching at this point, especially because there's been so many new ones that have come out that have been decent or have been animated and stuff like that. If you're only watching a couple episodes of something a day at most, or you know what I mean, you could go a long time just doing shonens. It's not like you need to bridge out
Yeah.
for content purposes.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. I agree with that.
I do think it is good eventually to branch out, though, rather than
Yeah, of course.
It might as well try. Yeah.
You don't want to accidentally become the anime Twitter shonen bro.
Well, and there's also just there's good stuff in anime that I think are not entries. I guess is how I'd put it. I don't think that there, to me at least, is a rom com that I would look at because of the way that tropes in anime works as an entry rom com. I think that is something a genre that people would have to get to on their own.
Yeah. I'm struggling to think. I think it's just different just because of how a lot of characters behave,
Mm-hmm.
compared to I guess Western-ish rom-coms. Yeah, I don't know. It's just even now that I've seen several rom-coms, it's still I still hate how some characters operate. It's just I don't want to say it's super tropey, but some aspects of how rom-coms are, it's just I still don't really like them, and I feel like other people may not like them unless you've seen a lot of anime. So.
I feel like maybe like a Real Life or Horimiya is probably like a
Real Life would be really good. Yeah,
probably like a generally easy entry. Yeah, because like Kaguya-sama is always very beloved in the anime community, but what if you like threw someone who's never seen anime into a Kaguya-sama? It might be a little
I think it would be
a little
hard.
too much. But speaking of, I wanted to show you. I've been sitting on this for a few days now in anticipation of us not having a topic. So every now and then, I get I'll see an article title, and Google like recommended you an article. They didn't recommend me this one. Someone in another server dropped this, and the title, I wasn't going to click on it. And because all right, CBR is it's like what, Comic Book Report or some shit. I don't know.
Okay.
But they do have like an anime division for journalism. And typically it's like some really stupid shit that you would never click on because there's no reason to, like 5 SAO characters who would survive Attack on Titan and 5 who wouldn't, even though they'd all definitely die. Even if you gave them their video game powers, unless it was like a late SAO, then I guess like they would all live easily. But I saw this. At this point, it's been brought up enough.
Interesting.
Yes. So I read through this because I'm like, I have to see. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that was my first mistake. So this article. Spring 2023's Oshinoko isn't worth the hype. And then the tagline, despite its shockingly dark first episode and stylish animation, Oshinoko's characters and story aren't good enough to justify its popularity. This is a very long article, which is why I shit on it, or why I'm about to shit on it. I guess Oshinoko spoilers. This is like, what, the fucking third episode and 4 that we've mentioned at this point.
This is It's a Oshinoko featured on the podcast several times.
Surely at this point people have seen it. But and you know what? I'm gonna keep bringing it up until it's fucking done airing. I won't keep doing it. Maybe I will. I don't know. But I read through this article and I was honestly surprised because I didn't think it could be as dog shit of an article as it was. Let me find some of the. I gave it its due diligence too. I didn't just like skim the article. I read word by word. And I'll give you like the spark notes here. Let's see. I need to figure out. Okay, this is like the breakdown. Okay, so their criticism comes down to like 3 paragraphs.
Okay.
Let's see. The anime follows a pretty common narrative with pretty common characters. Is basically all they say.
Is an interesting take. I don't know what about the narrative is common. I'll say it.
Yeah. I don't
so their thing is a revenge plot is anything but original. No shit, Sherlock. No, there's no plot that's original. At least not anymore, especially if one considers it's virtually the foundation of the most popular anime of recent years in Demon Slayer. Who gives a fuck if Demon Slayer has a revenge plot? That's not how that works. It's a completely different, like Tanjiro, like, oh no, my family's dead. I must now go kill this demon to like turn my sister back or whatever, or like attempt to. Yeah. While Oshinoko's is, I need to work my way through the entertainment industry to solve the mystery of who my father is so I can kill him. It's a completely, they're both revenge stories, I guess, but they're completely different setups for them and backdrops. So that was the first, it's pretty common narrative. Who gives a fuck? Every narrative is common.
It's also it's crazy to me to say common characters after 2 episodes.
That I fucking hate that.
Later on in this, it makes it sound like this person has not read the manga, which
they definitely haven't.
No, they haven't.
I read it and it says, perhaps the high ratings are from fans of the manga who know what's coming. which implies that this person doesn't know what's coming. But if you don't read the manga, how do you know the characters are common for 2 episodes?
Here's their
everything is common in 2 episodes of any show.
Here's their explanation as to why these characters are uncommon, or not uncommon. They're too common, pretty common. Let's see. Despite being adults reborn as children, none of the characters strike is especially original either, which is pretty cap. Uninspiringly, the siblings have opposite personalities. I guess they wanted them to be the same person. With Aqua being the handsome, brooding young man, and Ruby the outgoing, happy-go-lucky one, at least on the outside. But their main point here, the biggest thing they throw in, Aqua's sister complex is also quite tiresome because it's so common in anime.
But there's a reason, like, I don't know.
It's just saying it's so okay. There's a big difference between like, oh, I love my sister so much I would do anything for her, and my mom was murdered. My sister wants to go down the same path, and so I'm going to like manipulate everything around her so she can't follow that dream. And when she does, I'm going to stick around her to make sure nothing fucking happens. It's a fucking trauma thing. She's boiling down his trauma to an anime trope.
I feel like I've heard multiple times about Aqua's sister complex, both like in and outside of the manga. I've now caught up on the manga, and I won't say too much on it, but I just don't think there's anything about Aqua's like relationship with his sister that is like a complex or anything. I just think he cares about his sister.
Yes. And there's like a reason for it, right?
Yeah,
like,
there's a very good reason for it.
I know in the manga sometimes it's kind of a joke, but like realistically, like I don't understand what about like Aqua having a sister and wanting to protect her from something is a sister complex. Like I don't.
No, it's not. I think it's just like, I mean, it is a trope, but it's like you're missing the people who say that are writing this article. Or it's like missing the point of like, I don't know why it exists. Like, just
that's like my issue here is that I keep hearing about his sister complex, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel like you have to have a sister complex to like care about them. Now, if he was sitting here like into his sister sexually or something like that, then I'd be like, yeah, he has a sister complex. But I just feel like he's a brother.
No, yeah, protective. I mean, I should say protective. It's like,
overprotective is
concerned.
fine.
Concerned.
I can assign a concerned, protective, overprotective, all of those, but I don't think that makes you have a sister complex.
No, yeah, for sure. Sister complex.
Yeah, they're just boiling down the entire point of his character into a trope that it doesn't really fit particularly much.
It's funny because if you click on this article, the sister complex thing, it links to a article about Yuri from Spy Family, and that's a sister complex.
Yeah, that is he is absolutely obsessed with his sister, which is nothing like what Aqua is. Like,
yeah, it's not the same.
He's nowhere near the same. One is completely like drowned under a fucking fountain of trauma, and I don't know. I mean, maybe Yuri has a wild ass backstory, but like, I don't know. I'm sure it doesn't compare to, what happened with Aqua. I don't know. And especially because that's like literally the only thing they say.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I don't understand how you're gonna say like, yeah, this thing that everyone says is really good. It's not. You know why? Because they're just didn't fucking like throw in some words. I could have shit out a better article than this, and I this is my favorite manga, and I could have written why it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like us as people who like the series could write better articles of why it's bad.
It's like I don't know, you could have. I guess I don't know. You desperate for clicks, or like you just genuinely that fucking stupid.
To be fair, it worked. You clicked, and we're talking about it. But
yeah, that's true. Any publicity is good publicity, or whatever the phrase is. Yeah,
but it's I don't know. I also think saying that common characters and the reasoning being that the boy is handsome and the girl is happy go lucky.
Yeah, it's like what?
Like he's weird. Like, yeah, sure, we've seen that before, but that's just like personalities. That's not like has really anything to do with the characters.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with what happened in the first episode as well. Like, it wasn't like Aqua was always like he was. Like, he wasn't always like depressed, and it's just like, okay, dude literally was held in his mom's arms as she died. Like, dude, that's gonna fuck up anybody. And
I will say the one thing I agree with this on is I don't like revenge plots. But I don't think that just because I'm not like particularly interested in another revenge plot story is a reason that I would be like, yeah, this is not that good. You know what I mean?
it depends on the revenge plot for me. Like, this one I think is extremely well set up, and that's why I find it interesting.
Mhm.
Whereas, like, I don't know, you just like, oh, this person killed this person,
Also-
I have to go kill them now.
Also, like their point about the revenge plot was that it's not original because it's the foundation of one of the most popular anime. It, like, doesn't make sense. It's like I don't know why I'm like going to the food analogies, but it's like, okay, macaroni and cheese is like the most popular, like one of the most popular food items. But it doesn't mean uh like food with cheese is like unoriginal because like one of the most popular food items contains cheese. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like okay, Demon Slayer is popular. It's a revenge plot, but like that doesn't mean that it suddenly becomes unoriginal because the most popular anime has a revenge plot. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
I also think that even if you're a Demon Slayer fan, I don't think that you would watch Demon Slayer, love the revenge plot in that, and then see Oshinoko and be like, "Oh, already seen it. It's just like Demon Slayer." Like, they're just not. They're not the same revenge plot. It's not set up anywhere similar to the other one. It's just I don't know. I think even big Demon Slayer fans would not understand this sentence.
Yeah. Weird. Very interesting article. For sure.
Yeah, I got another one.
Oh no! Oh no!
This one I found on my own, and I regretted clicking on it with every bit of my existence.
Okay.
You'll see the link, and you'll probably understand immediately why. All right.
Let's see.
So.
Oh no.
Let's go.
Oh no.
Yeah. So we have the animefeminist.com.
Oh no.
Apparently they love so this person I don't know. This website feels like you remember oh fuck, what episode was it? Was it I think it was the Christmas episode where we found the Christian anime site?
Yes.
This feels like that, but for like the extreme side of feminism. Oh. So I read I also read through all of this, regrettably. I need to stop clicking on articles.
Dude, you love articles.
I usually don't click on them, but
Bro,
but this one it called to me because it seemed I'm sure surely I don't need to click on this.
So it starts off with a content warning, which is kind of fun.
Yes, content warning for some of the things I do not agree with.
At least one of these, actually two of these, I don't understand as a content warning for episode 1 at all. Actually,
okay.
So it has stalking/violence against women, fair.
Yeah.
Sexualization of minors, fair. It has terminal illness, fair. But then it has grooming. And am I forgetting something?
The foster care system.
Am I? Yeah, it also has foster care system.
That's a weird content. I guess like maybe it depends on your experience.
Yeah, I
guess it a little bit because I was in foster care and she mentions that, but it's like I don't know.
It's a weird content warning.
I'm really trying to understand grooming.
So
unless they're
the grooming, what they say it is when pre-Aqua Goro said, "Oh yeah, when you're 16, I'll marry you," or whatever. He's like, "Oh, this is great." Yeah, obviously did not understand the scene in any capacity.
Totally missed what he was saying there entirely. That's crazy. But okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't mind that this has a content warning. I actually think that's good. To be like, hey, there's going to be some stuff here. I like content warnings generally, but anyway.
But when the content warnings are like a complete, misrepresentation.
Yeah, I don't love it when it's just putting a complete misunderstanding of what's going on. But anyway, so here's the article.
So I think of all the things that are written here, the thing that made me bruh moment the most. So this is animefeminist.com. Obviously, this is going to be, this person basically watched this entirely like the women must be the main point of this. I feel like Aqua gets shit on a lot in here, especially towards the end, in which I find this paragraph to be the most bruh moment. I'll skip to the part that I find very dumb. Ruby was narratively shut out of getting to wish her mother a goodbye, too focused on creating Aqua's revenge story. She didn't get to be in the room. Now, I was like, okay, riddle me this. If you are bleeding out and die, and you already have one kid in the room, okay, whatever, they're fucking traumatized for life, you're gonna let the other kid into the room to watch you die? Like, I understand, like, obviously she's mentally older, but I just don't understand, like, you don't let them into the room because it's going to cause even more problems.
Aqua also specifically told her to not come
do not come in. And it's not like she didn't get to hear anything. One, the door, it's not like you can't hear anything, and two, it was a glass door as well.
Yeah.
It's just...
She clearly could hear stuff because she heard them talking to her. It showed us that several times.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. This person really doesn't like Goro, even though he was there for like, I don't know, fucking 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think they got really stuck as I looked through this. To be fair, we talked about this in the episode. Goro has some weird moments. This is like taking, as I like scroll through this, is taking those weird moments and getting like really, really serious about them.
Yeah, it's like it's an hour and a half fucking episode, and they're getting stuck on like maybe like 10 seconds of content.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like when you have to write an article,
I guess at least it gives Goro
like, I don't know.
I guess at least this gives Goro the respect of when he was Ai's doctor, and it says he doesn't do any creepy shit as a doctor. He just does his job. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's not like he did anything. The weirdest thing you could argue he did is when like he didn't deny that he would date Ai or whatever.
Yeah,
I did have someone give me like a different perspective on why. Yeah, you can definitely view that as weird, but it's like it's kind of supposed to play off of like, yeah, he kind of like the thing with Sarina / Ruby, I guess, when he basically like, oh yeah, I'll marry you at 16. She's obviously not making it at 16, so basically he wouldn't marry the terminally ill patient or whatever, but he would totally like break his morals for his idol or whatever, which is still weird, like not unweird, but it's like a dark joke, I guess.
Yeah, to be fair to the article, they do say that like despite the elements that aren't particularly savory, I guess, despite like those elements, they do a good job of like how do I describe it? Like, what was their exact wording here? It's like ruthless and critical, right? So like they show like the negative aspects of the idol industry and like kind of show it in a bad light, which is like, I mean, good, right? Like, I mean, there are a lot of aspects of the idol industry that are not like particularly good, so it makes sense that they criticize it.
Yeah.
And they say that overall it's like for example, Ai is like a really good well-written character, and like anytime someone in the show does something like weird, there's usually someone to correct them. So to be fair to the article, as like weird as some parts sound, it does seem like they have like a decently positive outlook on the show.
Yeah, they said like the very top or whatever, their feelings went between I love the show and oh no, but ultimately ended up on the side of loving the show.
Yeah, which is fair, right?
Yeah. I don't think it was like the worst thing ever, but I definitely, there are things I do not agree with.
Parts,
the other article is considerably worse, which I did remember something from this other article as well that I totally skipped over. So this one article, the one we talked about previously, talked about it's trying to criticize character, but then they completely like destroy credibility pretty early on in this. It's Ai's death cuts her character arc short, which is a complete misunderstanding of.
Wrong.
It's her
character arc actually.
It very much completes her character arc before she dies.
Yeah, if anything, her death was the completion of her character arc because it gave her that moment where she said "I love you" to her kids, and that was like the conclusion of her character arc.
No, her character was done. It wasn't like maybe it wasn't the happy ending everyone might have wanted, but it was an ending. It fits.
There's also a weird line in this, which might be me missing something, but it says when it's talking about the breastfeeding scene or whatever, and it says, given the reputation of Doga Kobo, which is the animation studio, I believe.
Yeah.
It says, given the reputation of that the studio for pedophilia, I was worried, and I don't know what.
I think they did Watame, which I think has like a weird first episode or something.
Did they do Watch-10?
Or Watch-10, that's what it is, not Watame. They've done some.
Okay.
They did New Game, which, like, I guess depending on how you want to look at that, it's like in Moe.
I know them for New Game, which New Game is not.
Yeah, they did Umaru.
Moe, New Game is not bad. Umaru, I don't like Umaru. I don't think it's pedophilic in any way. They did Nozaki-kun, which is good.
Yuri.
I don't know anything.
I could imagine Yuri having some weird moments. I don't think I'd call it like.
I guess I can understand how they got to.
They do a lot of like Moe shows, and I think that's what they're trying to.
And that's what's
project.
Happening. To be fair, Watson is pretty weird, and I guess them doing Watch-10 gives me enough of an entry to the idea. And as I look through, they do a lot of shows that I guess I could understand how we got here. So I look at pictures, they did like, what is it, Gabriel, whatever it's called.
Dropout.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I just saw that line and I was like, what have they done? That
it does seem like recently they've kind of moved away from.
It's a very strong line for something that I don't know about, because it feels, I don't know, pedophilia is a very strong word.
It's an extremely strong word.
Yeah.
That's
especially just like throw out there. You could have been like, oh yeah, they did this show and this show which do weird things, but the others like,
exactly.
they're pedophiles. Yeah.
Like that jumps out to me as I'm reading this, and I'm like, huh? Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. I've kind of skimmed through this article. I don't hate all the things that this one says, but it's a perspective.
Yeah, the anime feminist one was like, there are definitely things in there I don't agree with, but it's not like abhorrent to like be.
I feel like the first one was just like.
The first one was absolute dog shit.
Like holy.
Like I understand how they got to some of these conclusions. I think some of them are a misunderstanding or like taking something a character said too seriously. Especially with the Goro stuff, but some of them are fair.
Yeah. I'm now wondering like what other like crazy articles which people would want to be able to find, because I feel like there are a lot of these like I don't know, a lot of these what do you want to call them? Like
I've seen a lot of
quote unquote journalism sites. I don't know what you want to call them. They're like
I've seen a lot of these One Piece. Like every week a new One Piece thing comes out and I can find.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll see some like actually insane takes, but like I don't know. I don't usually like to read about anime that much, so I've never, never really looked into it.
I get random articles recommended. Like top one on my thing right now is Vinland Saga director apologizes for season 2 controversy.
I saw that on my phone. I didn't click on it because I feel like it's probably something stupid. But
I don't know what controversy there was, but I haven't watched Vinland Saga 2 because I'm planning to binge it. So
based on like the what's it called they had, I feel like I know if unless the picture is completely fucking irrelevant. Let me see if it pops up on my. all right, first thing, my phone here, comicbook.com, which I think is affiliated with CBR, which we just looked at. They basically have the same logo. Let's see. He was originally going to add a short story into season 2. What? What the fuck? Where's the... I fucking hate articles.
I found a fun article that's just Pokemon's new villains are Team Rocket's opposite, and that's a good thing. And it's just a write-up about how the new villains, I guess, in Pokemon Horizons are interesting.
Oh, so it's not Team Rocket. I mean, that makes sense. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, too, for anyone who has watched Pokemon Horizons, they'd also agree with this. I don't know if this is gonna be a traditional villain group in the same way. I almost feel like it's gonna be like mercenaries, in the sense of like they're hired to do a job and not necessarily a group that is outwardly trying to do like bad things. At least that's the way it feels to me.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously Team Rocket is just like
they're there. Was Team Rocket there until the end?
Team Rocket was also part of the little Ash like finale special.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
They even had like their own basically send off through that as well, since Horizons is essentially brand new.
Yeah.
It's also really good. I don't know if either of you have watched it.
I haven't seen it.
I'm caught up on it. Yeah, 3 episodes.
I haven't seen it because I haven't watched Pokemon in so long, and I'm just.
I mean, the problem with Pokemon is you have to know what's going on to know if it's really gonna like pay off or be good. But the first 3 episodes have been really good, in my opinion. I think it's set up something that is interesting and different enough from the Ash Pokemon series that I don't feel like it was a bad decision to get rid of Ash.
Yeah, I've been liking the new characters for the most part so far.
Yeah. I do think if the new characters were going to just be the same as Ash, then there was no point in resetting. But so far, that hasn't been the case. It's been really good. I think I was talking to someone about it. I think it was Colby. And he said that it felt like an anime that had Pokemon in it and not necessarily a Pokemon anime. And I thought that was a good way to describe it for people who might be interested in it. Is the fact that like it is Pokemon, and Pokemon are an important part, but they're not necessarily so heavily prevalent that it's holding back potential narratives so far.
I did read through the Vinland Saga article, and apparently it was there's a backstory for a character they wanted to explore in a couple episodes, but they ended up like falling through or whatever. But they never got around to like removing some of like the kind of like the, I guess, the callbacks to it in a sense in like the later episodes. Not that they like flash back to it or anything, but like maybe there'd be more context to certain scenes. I haven't noticed anything in particular. Maybe if I like looked really hard. I don't know. It seemed like a Nothing Burger article though for clicks.
Nothing Burger.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Lettuce between 2 buns.
Yeah, because of the I guess just because of my like lack of watching Pokemon over the past like I don't know 8-9 years or whatever. Probably longer than that actually. My time for like Pokemon is like completely just like shrunk. Like I keep thinking like Gen 5, like Black and White was like I don't know 8 years ago when it was actually like 12 or 13 years ago, whatever. Like, I have no sense of time, but like since it's been that long, and I just like I don't know, I'm just not used to like Pokemon anime in general. It's like, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe if it's different enough, maybe I have to give it a shot. No,
the problem
too many Ash weird stuff Ash does that I don't know pisses me off. So I just avoided it.
Yeah,
the problem is we're only 3 episodes in, so like we could take guesses of what the story is gonna look like and what's gonna happen, but we don't really know at this point what like the long-term story is going to be. We have hints. There are some things that have been set up already, but I couldn't tell you, like, are we going to have gyms in this series? Is there, is battling going to be important in the same way that, like, Journeys had the Pokemon World Tournament? Or is it just going to kind of be, if we need to battle, we battle?
I feel like before we know anything, we have to get introduced to the second main character. He's just gotta...
Yes. The second main character also has not really shown up yet. And so,
we have technically seen him at the end of the last episode or whatever, but
which is interesting because Journeys had it where Go and Ash kind of split responsibilities. Where Go wanted to catch a lot of Pokemon and Ash wanted to battle, and I don't know how I feel about the idea if this is the same, where it's like, Roy wants to battle and get good at battling, and then Liko is just like wants to explore. That could kind of be what it's setting up so far. But
I feel like she's shown a drive to get better at battling, but I don't know.
Yeah.
What I do like is that we haven't broken like the rules of Pokemon yet. We've used like the visual aspects to instead of like Ash, like, I'm gonna fucking overcharge this Electivire's overdrive and kill it. She's like, okay, I'm gonna use Leaf Edge, and there's gonna be so many fucking leaves that everyone just can't see anything. We're gonna run away.
Yes.
Which I think is a much better alternative.
Yeah, she's done some stuff that's like borderline, but I also do think that some of it's fair. I think Ash goes way too far, obviously, and everyone can agree with that. But like the Pokemon world, realistically, if Pokemon were real and you were battling with them in the real world, it wouldn't just be as simple as click move, attack, and then opponent click move.
I feel like Rico, what the fuck is it actually supposed to be? Because like in Japanese it's Rico because they don't have L's, but do we just say Liko because we can?
I have only seen Liko, but
it's listed like that on whatever, but then like Rico is also under the names, probably because it's their Japanese version or whatever. I think I like Rico more than Liko, but I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But I do feel like it's more fair because like the one person like sent out a Skarmory. It's like, the fuck is your dumb cat gonna do to Skarmory? And she just fucking leaf edges it, and there's so many fucking leaves they just run away. They don't actually like fight the Skarmory.
I will say I do think that is the fair part about it is she's not winning the battles by doing.
Yeah, absolutely not. She's just
being strategic.
Yeah, she using the visual obstruction to her advantage, which I think is much more fair than breaking the rules of the game. Though you never know, we might get some tomfoolery, some.
She still might, and I'm sure that it'll happen because I do think that sometimes for narrative purposes, weird shit just happens in the Pokemon anime, and it depends like how egregious and how often it happens. I still think Ash could have won the Electivire fight without fucking overcharging the overdrive.
Could he have though with a Pikachu?
I don't know that
like,
Pikachu's iron took out a fucking
Mega Metagross.
So why couldn't it just do the same thing? And then that would have been less egregious. If his Iron Tail took out the Electivire, I would have been like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, maybe just a really low level Electivire.
To be fair, like I feel like Pokemon always has like this weird like interactions and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like it's just
part of the problem is Pokemon anime tries to connect to the games, but then also disconnects from the games at the same time.
Yeah, it has to be different.
So as watchers, we don't really know how serious to take game rules because there's the Snivy, right? The famous Snivy in Pokemon Black
the
White
Snivy
anime.
thing. Yeah, that's supposed to be like a reboot for the series, though, isn't it? That's like the explanation for why Pikachu got clapped by a level 5 Snivy.
It is, but also realistically, in the Pokemon universe, there just aren't levels. Like that's not a thing.
Well, I gotta evolve somehow. Granted, a lot of it's like, oh no, we're in trouble. I better evolve.
Yeah, levels are just in terms of like Pokemon World versus Pokemon game, levels are just a mechanic that the games use to show how like experienced the Pokemon is in battle. But that's, I don't know, in like a real world setting, that's not really, I think, how it would work.
It does raise their stats, though. I don't know.
But then there are times in the original anime where they reference levels, if I remember right, because there's the little academy shit where they're playing on the like computers and simulating battles and learning how to battle. I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about. There was like the fog in it and everything, but I think they reference literally the level system in that episode, so that it's like,
yeah, I'm gonna be. I don't understand. I think the writers just
leveling is
they
canon.
don't fucking care.
Noted.
They can do whatever they need to at the convenient moment. Because like some episodes would be like, oh my god, Staravia is evolving because we need to win this fucking like bird
that's how it always is,
contest.
though.
But then like you'll have episodes where like Dawn's Piplup, it was like, oh fuck, my Piplup's just it's fucking evolving now. I guess it's just time. And then they had to get the Everstone because Piplup didn't want that shit.
yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I don't know how.
I think that the stuff like that, like mechanics, shouldn't be taken that seriously in the Pokemon anime, but I get why they are, because the writers will use that stuff sometimes, and other times they won't use that stuff. So
I think when it's egregiously like breaking the rules, it's much more annoying than like maybe I can accept like Pikachu's Iron Tail defeating an Electivire. I can't accept Overdrive just not working. This is why children are dumb.
And the worst part is, I don't know if you've actually watched that battle.
The
worst part is they used Overdrive, right? If they just didn't use Overdrive,
Motor Drive, rather.
Or Motor Drive, yeah. If they just didn't use it in the battle, because earlier they did use it in the battle to negate the electric attacks, and that's what makes it so egregious. They already established in the episode that
just
like,
give bro Vital Spirit, yeah.
That was my biggest issue. Is it has multiple abilities. Just don't write yourself into this corner in the single episode it matters. You could have got to the conclusion that episode and been like, yeah, this is kind of shit, and then just rewrote the fight for the same episode with Vital Spirit, and it's okay.
I don't understand why they gotta be goofing about it.
But yeah, I think it's weird, because the anime sometimes will take that game stuff and put it in, but I also think there are parts of it that I just don't think make sense to me. As
are rare candies canon in the anime? Like, is that a thing?
I don't know if I remember seeing one. I feel like I have to look this up now.
Nobody tried to hack 99 in like the Nuzlockers, right?
I feel like I've seen rare candy in the anime, but I don't know.
Pokemon Database, had the rare candy ever been used in the anime? It appeared in Caterpie's Big Dilemma. Yeah.
Yes. It made the Pokemon larger, though. It did not level it up. Interesting. So yes, but it did not.
he got a laced rare candy. They laced it with roids.
Rare candy level in the episode. It makes Pokemon larger due to the fact that this was a specially modified.
Yeah. Oh my! It actually was it was fucking laced rare candy.
Also, due to a dubbing error, the rare candy was referred to by a direct translation of its name, Mystery Candy. It also, you could see some rare candies in En's room in Pokemon Evolution, apparently.
Okay.
Interesting. So he's a cheater.
yeah, actually.
You
can tell if there's 99. That's how
kind of. We know that rare candies exist in
just don't know what they
Pokemon
do.
anime world.
The only one that's been used was laced.
Yeah, Brock said that the original would merely enhance a Pokemon's ability.
Okay, so this is a drug.
Which is a good description, I think, if you're trying to avoid the level conversation, but also
it's a drug.
Have them do the same thing. It is a drug. That is true.
Yeah.
It's good.
I feel like I don't know.
Game, I think anytime a game goes to anime, it's hard to tread that territory, because those mechanics are important, and you have to find like the nice in between of respecting the mechanics of the game which is what the anime doesn't do sometimes, but also having them still be relevant enough that it matters.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't stick too close to the game. It becomes just like formulaic and boring.
Yeah, that's what happens in Yu-Gi-Oh.
That actually, yes, but also like,
yes,
that's why the first season was
because,
like whack, because like
yes,
the first season was just like
That's also why the first season of GX was whack too, because Jaden won every duel with the same fucking shit for the whole
it was
first
like
season.
He's
top
spamming
deck
his
bubble
deck.
man with no cards on the field, draw 2 cards, wins.
He would just top deck Elemental Hero Burstinatrix and then fuse it with Elemental Hero Avian, and then he has
Flame Wing
Flame
Man and
Gear.
inflict damage equal to the attack. Yep.
And oh boy, maybe I'll mix in a Skyscraper this time to get plus 1000 attack.
True.
Because of his special ability, the damage difference between my attack and your attack will be dealt directly to your life points.
Yep.
Or something like
that.
that.
A revelation. All the games that like got turned into anime, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Bakugan, they all kind of fucking suck as games if you think about it.
What the hell, man? I love Yu-Gi-Oh.
So Bakugan, I loved Bakugan as a kid. I don't know how to play the game.
I collected them. I don't know how to play Bakugan.
I collected
them because they were cool, and I liked the anime show. It's technically an anime. It's on any list. I'll count it.
I don't have it on my. I don't know how many fucking episodes of Bakugan I watched. I don't think I
have
enough.
I have it on mine because I'm pretty sure I finished the original series.
I think I watched one of them, but I didn't.
I don't think I watched. Yeah, I don't think I watched the other ones, but for Battle Brawlers, I'm pretty sure I finished.
Yeah, I do not remember. Like, I'm sure I've watched like some of Beyblade or whatever, but I don't remember it enough to like. I'm not gonna put it on my list.
I watched the shit out of Beyblade. Beyblade might have been the one I knew the most about because all it was spin top.
Yeah, like I know how to play Beyblade. Yeah, they got banned from our school.
They did not get banned from my school.
Yeah, like everything got banned from my school. We had Bakugan, those got banned. Then we went to Beyblade, that shit got banned. Then Pokemon cards became a thing, those got banned. It was like a slow spiral of everything.
Yeah.
Anything that was cool got
people
banned.
just vape. That's the new thing.
Yeah,
playing with,
those are banned, but they bring them in anyway.
Do you guys ever play the Metabots game?
Maybe.
I think it was for the.
It's so familiar, but it's like
looking it up.
Metabots.
I don't think I did. No.
I think I collected some of these and I played the game, but I don't remember if I watched the show or not.
Yeah, I watched the show. I don't think
I want to say I watched the show. I know I played
the
game. I know I played the game. I don't know if I watched the show, or if I did watch the show, I probably didn't watch much of it.
Yeah, the only GameCube game that I can remember playing was Battle for Bikini Bottom original. So I did not. I guess it's also a Game Boy. I didn't play it on Game Boy though. So
yeah, that's fair.
I miss my Game Boy. I didn't let my mom give it away to someone. I had some fire game. Actually, I had some dog shit games on that fucking thing.
I have no reason to ever play my Game Boy Advance again.
It's emulate
all of the Pokemon, all the Mega Man, and T-Warrior. What was Battle Network? That's the game series. And T-Warrior's the anime.
I loved Battle
Network. I was
Network.
looking at it just now, so brain broke. All the Battle Network games just got put on Switch, and I bought them.
Oh, cool. Gotcha.
So, and they have like achievements and stuff like that. So I have an actual incentive to play them on my Switch instead of just going and grabbing my cartridges and playing them on my fucking Game Boy SP. It still works. I'll give it that. I don't know if it should still work.
I gotta find the Game Boy.
Still works. I still have all my old. I have my Game Boy SP. I think I have a color somewhere. I have 2 DSs.
I still have my DSi and my 2DS, but I don't need. There's dust collectors at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I still need my DS to play Mega Man Star Force games, unless I emulate them. But
yeah, I definitely don't pirate Nintendo games. I would never do that. So yeah.
Yeah.
I still have my Game Boy. That's how I play all my Game Boy games. Yeah. And my Nintendo Switch.
It's funny because I think I've tried to emulate the Mega Man games, and I'm always like, this just feels so different. And then I go to play console because that's how like it's nostalgic to play, you know, the Mega Man Star Force on my DS, or to play, you know, my SP or some type of console to play Battle Network. And the Switch is like a nice compromise because they're not really like remastered in a way. They're kind of just packaged, and it has a screen that looks cool, and Mega Man talks to you, and it's like, pick the game you want to play, and there's two games for it, because they had to split the first 3 into one game and the other 3 games into another. But and then you load up the game, and it's just the same game, same graphics, not like remaster or anything on the Switch, which is great. That's probably what I would have wanted more than having anything else. But
did y'all ever have those cartridges with like 5 games on them? They're all fucking like random as all hell, but
they're all
I had one for DS.
They're all the games that you don't care about, but they exist.
I had a really weird one. It was like it had I don't know if this one was legal, but I had it. It had Sonic on it. You know that what was the dolphin game called? You just like went around as a dolphin and did shit. I don't remember.
Echo the Dolphin or whatever.
Yeah, probably Echo the Dolphin, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It had Sonic, Echo the Dolphin. There's this weird like, it was almost like Ben 10, but it wasn't. I don't know what the fuck to call. I don't know what it was called. There's no chance in hell I'd ever find it though. Well, let's call it fake Ben 10. It had a Shrek game.
Lit.
And then it had something else. Oh, it was like, it was like you could like drive a car around a city. Honestly, it had a better open world than Pokemon did. I don't know.
I think I told you about this, Daniel, but my experience of Dragon Ball Z was just playing the like Game Boy Advance games of it.
There were some
and like
some decent ones.
I think it was also it was the Game Boy Advance games. I think I played the ones for the original Dragon Ball, and then there was Budokai Tenkaichi, those games for PlayStation that I know the Z story from. But I've never watched Dragon Ball. I just know most of the story vicariously through Dragon Ball games that I have randomly played throughout my life.
Honestly, we're at the point where like you could watch Dragon Ball Z abridged and you'd honestly get just as good as a grip of the stories. It might be a better, like, either abridged or Kai would be a better experience than the original Z. The original Z is definitely fueled by nostalgia, whereas like Kai cuts out it makes the HD, better voice acting, cuts out all the filler.
You guys ever play Dragon Ball Budokai or whatever?
We just said
what I just said.
I was so out.
That's quite literally what
Dragon Ball, and I was just like,
I
only watched a little bit of Dragon Ball as a kid, so I'm like, okay, they're talking about the anime, so just like zoned out. It's like,
yeah, I've been totally illegally emulating Budokai Tenkaichi 3 and totally
I played it I don't know which version.
Did not modify it to the.
Okay, dude, I played that game so much at a friend's house. Not that specific game. I think it was. I don't know which one. It was one for the original PlayStation. I played that one so much, like at my friend's house. It was like it was awesome.
Yeah, I played it was Budokai Tenkaichi 3 at first. It was the Wii I had it on. I did have a PlayStation. I did have a PlayStation 2, but it like killed itself. I don't know what happened. It just stopped working. And then in Minecraft, of course. And then we got rid of that, and then my parents got a Wii or whatever, and I had some really dumb fucking games for that, but I don't remember most of them.
Yeah, I had a lot of dumb ones too.
It looks like the game I played for the Game Boy was the Legacy of Goku game.
I think I totally legally played that one. Hold on.
I owned this game for some reason as a kid, even though I wasn't a Dragon Ball fan. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how I got it, but I definitely played this game.
Yeah, I played this on my phone, and then I played Boost Fury. So the problem with both of them, right, is they hit like you can play for a while without any problems, and then there's a really weird level jump for no reason. Yeah. And then so I'm like, fuck this, I'm not grinding.
I think I beat them. I want to say, well, the one that I had. I don't think I did. I
didn't have the patience.
The one or anything. I think I just did that. But I was like, a child, so I didn't care about grinding. I was like, oh, I need to be stronger. Let me go kill some shit, and then I come back and I'm like, oh, I'm not strong enough still. Let me go kill some more shit.
Nah, you're hidden grinder. I used to do the same thing in like Pokemon and stuff, but that's about it.
Pokemon, I would actually have like level 100 Pokemon just because I'd go fucking around with like the same 3 Pokemon and just like, all right, I guess it's time to go fight the champion by level 100 Kyogre.
Yeah, that was my first experience. It was I got like a hand-me-down Game Boy, and then my sister didn't really care about Pokemon at that point, and so she gave me her copy of Red, the original.
Okay.
And I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, so I ran around with Charizard, just killing everything.
Gotcha.
And that's all I did until eventually my cousin gave me, I think it was his copy of Leaf Green and Ruby. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing in those either. I think Pearl was the first one that my child brain could comprehend in any capacity.
Yeah, I think my first was like Gold, and then like, so I had you guys talked about like having Game Boy Advance SP. I had the original Game Boy Advance. I was like the only person who had it.
I also had the original.
Yeah, it was so bad because like
what was crazier? I had the original Nintendo DS, the bulky one.
Oh, I had that one too. Yeah,
like,
that one was
it's a wacky one.
And there was some point in time where I felt like this just never existed because nobody had
it. Was insane.
You couldn't find them, and it felt like Nelson Mandela did. And it's just like I own one, but like nobody else does, and I can't find proof that it exists. Speaking of things that I couldn't find proof that they exist, I know that the Bobo anime is real.
Yeah.
But I could not, for the life of me, like a year or two ago when I was thinking about rewatching it, I could not find it anywhere. Not on legal sites, not on illegal sites. It just could not. I could not find any episodes of it.
It's kind of crazy.
Nowadays, I probably could.
I just found it. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say nowadays I probably could, but I was an idiot to anime at that point and only knew a couple sites. But I did think it was funny. Trying to find the episodes of that show. I tried for like days and I could not find shit.
Yeah. Finding now I'm like I don't want to say Pirate Sammy. What's a good way I can put this? Or a non-legally binding way I can put this.
Oh my gosh. Trying too hard.
I am I know my way around the seas.
Yeah.
Much better than I did as like a younger person. Like I would I only ever got a virus once, I think, and I was like really young, and I've never gotten one since. I learned my lesson.
I've gotten a few.
I've always taken the stance of just if I can get something legally, I might as well.
Yeah, I'm a terrible person.
Very admirable of you.
Very admirable. Me, I'd have to pay like 5 different subscription services to watch all the shit that I want to. So like, what if I just didn't do that?
Yeah, that's the big problem. Is I do pay some subscription services, but I don't pay for like High Dive, for example.
I feel bad for High Dive because like Ocean Echo is their biggest like premiere ever, and it could have been so much bigger. But everyone's like, man, fuck, I don't want to subscribe to High Dive. I'm fired in this shit.
I don't want to get High Dive.
Which is tough because it's like, you don't want Crunchyroll to have all of it because then you have a monopoly, but you don't want to like subscribe to 15 different services, so it becomes more awkward.
And realistically, Crunchyroll just has more of the things I want to watch.
I mean, because they have a much like bigger like catalog of shit, especially because they like eat like literally every anime service alive apart from High Dive.
It's devoured. Even when they got acquired, they still devoured. The Funimation.
Yeah, they devoured Funimation when they got acquired.
Funimation under Sony took control of Crunchyroll and still got devoured. Which is fair. I think it works. Was the right decision.
It was definitely the more more remarkable site, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the correct decision. It's just funny that fucking Funimation should have been on the side of winning, but still lost.
Can you imagine like being like the Funimation CEO, like, let's fucking go. We just bought Crunchyroll. We're gonna take them all over all their shows. And it's like, all right, so to fill out some paperwork, where Crunchyroll is going to merge with Funimation. They're going to take over. It's like, oh well, fuck. Yeah, I don't know, because anime was at the point where it's like, yeah, you can just like watch on Crunchyroll and it's gonna have like literally everything, and like maybe some would be on Netflix or something, but now it's like every big player's getting into it. Obviously Crunchyroll, and Amazon has High Dive, and they have stuff on Prime, and then Disney has Disney Plus and Hulu, and HBO Max I'm sure has anime on it.
I will never touch Disney Plus.
I will definitely never. Disney doesn't need my money. I will happily pirate whatever the fuck they put out there.
That's smart.
Every company is
High
evil in
Dive
some
might
capacity. Disney's definitely most.
High Dive might one day win me over to get a High Dive subscription, but Disney will never.
Yeah, the main thing I've heard about High Dive is that their app is dog shit, which I can believe. Like, I don't know. I don't know why it's so hard. All these pirate sites have really good UIs and players and all of that, but the fucking actual sites can't get it right.
Yeah.
I don't know. You could just steal from the pirate sites. What the fuck are they going to do? Sue you? They're an illegal business.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not allowed to exist, and yet, I don't know.
I think the problem is probably just the fact that I know we all are accustomed to using mobile apps and stuff, but I don't know how popular it is in like Japan to use mobile apps over just watching stuff when it's like on TV.
I still feel like it has to be.
Well, even like
popular.
like
it has to be.
Like stuff that's over in the West, like Japan can, yeah, they can watch it on TV. They're not gonna, and they don't use the same, or they use some like Netflix and Disney Plus. I'm sure they use over there, obviously, but
yeah,
they're not going to use they don't have Hulu is only in the U.S. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
and I think I want to say HBO Max is too. I might be wrong on that.
But I just mean that in terms of like caring about making the UI for a lot of these apps good. I wonder how much of that matters to like the Japanese, or if they have their own streaming service. For all we know.
Do. It's like Asia Plus or something. I might be wrong.
Yeah, they might have all of these things from Crunchyroll and High Dive on their own thing, so they don't even care. And so in turn, why should the services care?
I know they definitely have one. Like they use Netflix, for example. Netflix has a lot of shit on there. I don't know what their. Fuck, I know. I can just look on fucking what's it called? On any list and see what it's streaming on. Like Oshinoko, for example. Let's see. Apparently Bilibili has a TV thing, which is like
for China, right?
Yeah, it's like Chinese YouTube or whatever. I want to say Japan uses it too, though. It's on Netflix and some Asian countries as well. And whatever the fuck sure IQ is, there's a lot of different streaming services in other countries that we just don't know about.
Which is maybe the answer to why some of those the streaming services that we want for like stuff outside of our country are kind of not as good because they might just have better alternatives, or it's not as much of a priority.
Yeah, I just wonder like how much how much of what do you want to call it? I guess like streaming or whatever has moved from like, it's like here in the US it's like TV, at least among our generation, right? Like TV is like almost non-existent, right? Everything is just done on the internet. But like, I just wonder in other countries like how much it is.
Sports would just move to streaming, and like it would be. I don't understand why they still do this in-market bullshit. I will pay you like I don't want to pay for a whole like season, like the NFL like Sunday ticket. Or I don't want to pay like $400 for that shit. I'll pay you I'll pay you $50 to watch my team specifically out of market, and that's a better deal than it's a fine deal for me. So it's like, I don't know. I'll keep pirating. I'll do it. Not that
Yeah,
I
my dad
would
used to,
in Minecraft, of course. I would never do it.
The thing is that's interesting with all of that type of stuff is, you bring up the NFL Sunday ticket or whatever. I don't know how much it costs. We'll say $400 for this example.
They just said no. I think it like literally is $400.
Yeah, that's fair. If only 10,000 people in the U.S. buy that, that's like 4 million in that sale, and that's, I feel like, kind of where that is moving towards, where it's most people don't use cable that much anymore.
Yep.
Realistically, and in fact, we're getting to the point where most people aren't paying for cable anyway.
No.
But it's still like that small percentage that does is still generating enough money that cable is a thing.
Well, I think a lot of companies now are probably just, I mean, they are like actively moving towards like streaming services. So I'm just not sure like what the future of it is. It seems pretty doomed, honestly.
The future of it is that streaming services are just going to become new cable.
Yeah, I mean that is
Except now we have
like satellite,
the
right?
internet to save us now.
Yeah,
like satellite was a big
it's
thing in the
kind
2010s.
of a cycle that's going to be slightly revamped.
Yeah, basically.
I think piracy is going to see a new rise. I think because like eventually it got to a point where like maybe like older days, like people would be, oh, I can't afford this, I'm going to pirate it. And now it's you have these new services that were cropping up that were much cheaper or whatever, and so people are like, oh, I can afford a cheap alternative option to something. People will probably go for over pirating. But it's when we have situations now, like we have like a quadrillion different streaming services. Now it's like, well, I could pay, like $50 a month to watch everything I want, or I could pay $0 a month and, get the exact same service but for free. There's no incentive to not pirate at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people also like the piracy thing is like, yeah, I don't know if it's just like a convenience thing, but I guess like streaming kind of bridges that gap. I think for a lot of people also just like, I know it sounds really like foreign to us because we're all kind of know like what pirating is, and like I'm sure a lot of people know about it, but like I feel like a lot of people who aren't like online a lot just pirating is just like not as common of a thing as like.
Yeah, like if you're not online a lot, you're gonna be like, oh, where do I go? Or you go onto a website and like an ad pops up, like, oh no, am I hacked? It's like, nope, just close out of it. Congratulations.
Yeah, I was like torrenting stuff at like the age of 13, but like other people, they're not. That's great.
Yeah, I tend to stay away from I tend to stay away from downloading files. I've downloaded enough files that I probably shouldn't have. I've not paid for it yet, but I don't know. It's a lot. I feel like pirating's a lot safer than it used to be. Is the weird thing. Like back then, definitely for sure. Like I watched The Office on. I went to like the third page of Google to find this random ass site that had the entirety of The Office on it, and that's what I watched it through. And it's like obviously had all the goofy ads or whatever. But now I bet I know a website or two that I could go on and probably have it all there. And it's like no hassle at all. And they have like 20 different servers, so even if they get taken down to one place, they'll have another one. And I don't know. I feel like the only way piracy goes down is if all the first world countries crack down on these third world countries that are like kind of like safe harbors for like a lot of streaming servers have like .to or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's like Tonga or some shit. Is like every country on the planet gonna like crash down on Tonga? So pirating stops? Like, probably not. I don't know.
It's weird. It's I don't know, and I think that there's a lot of the problem is we'll always see like political movements and stuff trying to figure out the whole situation with a lot of that, and that's what causes a lot of panic online about like, oh no guys, we can't let this bill pass if you use the internet because if you read it, it's like a clear infringement on internet privacy and stuff like that. I think it's a lot of that is because the country has no idea how to, like, as far as the politicians have no idea how to tread the line between trying to take care of the things that they should take care of online while also not misusing the online space.
Yeah, I mean, it's politicians. Obviously, every bill has like the all right, guys. Like the TikTok one has been like the most recent panic that I can think of, I guess, where it's like, all right, guys, we're gonna ban TikTok. We're also going to
Yeah,
increase
we
it.
ban
We have all these other. Now I did I watched like a deep dive into that bill or whatever, and while like it's still like pretty like it's the problem is it like definitely gives the U.S. a lot of power to just be like, we don't like this foreign adversary and their app that's popular. We're gonna ban their app. It gives them basically the power to do that whenever the fuck they want, which is like the main issue. A lot of people are like, oh, if you use a VPN, you're gonna get like fined $1 million. That's not exactly what was happening. Like that bill would not apply to you unless you are like, maybe if they would have to really fucking hate you.
Actually breaking like
you'd have to be
a lot of things so much that you not only get noticed, but eventually you get flagged to the point that they would have to say something.
Yeah, you would have to be on you'd have to find your way onto a watch list in order to actually like get hit with any of these fines or anything. And so while the bill is obviously still bad and they shouldn't have all this extra bullshit in there, if you want to ban TikTok, go for it. I don't give a fuck. TikTok's dumb as shit. But
no, I love TikTok, bro. I love TikTok. It's so funny.
But it's like that's the good example. They find this thing that they want to hone in on, like saying I also don't understand why they want to like what the TikTok problem is, but that's beside the point. So they find this thing like, having the ability to ban apps from other countries that send the wrong message or something. Which in and of itself isn't the biggest deal, but it's also like for why. But then they take that and they keep taking those extra steps as like what else do we need when we do something like that? And then you get to the ban TikTok thing, which is obviously the headliner for the public. I assume it's not really the bill is not the ban TikTok bill. It's gonna be
we need more power bill, basically.
Yeah, exactly. But TikTok is the headliner for the public because TikTok is the most relevant thing that the bill is dealing with.
Yeah,
for the average person.
And they'll do that with like literally anything. Like it becomes like I think this one is like bipartisan because they all fucking benefit from being able to have all the power in the situation. But sometimes whenever they struggle against each other, the main thing is like, oh yeah, we're gonna pass this bill that makes, I don't know, doing this really heinous thing illegal, and that's like the headline for it. And then also written in there is like, oh yeah, by the way, we like to increase all of our salaries or some stupid bullshit like that. Yeah. And then when you oppose that bill because of the extra bullshit, it's like, oh, so you hate or you support this heinous thing? It's like, no.
Yeah, the big one I remember was during the pandemic and everything, when they would do like the relief bills and stuff like that. And so a side would be like, oh yeah, here's the relief bill. So, the average American family can get some money to like survive every month. And they would do that. But then you would also read it and they would also be like, and we're also going to like send a couple, $1 billion overseas to foreign countries and stuff like that. And it's, how do I put it? Some of the things would have been sensible, but they didn't need to be in this bill. That would be my problem with it. It's not the proposition, but you would get something like this where it's supposed to be about, people getting relief during a pandemic, and they would add these extra things that would just get it stalled because these were extra things they wanted to add, and it would be one of those things where it'd be like, I know you're trying to negotiate here with your bills, but
and all of them are like really bloated too. It's like, yeah, here's this 4,000 page document. We waited until the last minute to show it to everyone. We need to vote on it today, though. Get to read and yeah, I don't know. Anyway, lesson of the day: the government sucks. We're an hour and a half in, and it's pretty late, so we'll probably stop here.
Yep.
And we've gone from anime to hating the government, which I mean, based enough, I guess. Fuck the government, but
I don't even think we've said anything that bad about the government. It's just
we have lightly criticized the government. I did just say fuck the government though. Fuck the government in real life, not in Minecraft. Fuck the government. Anyway, I can say that because we live in a free country. Yeah, I just need to like make sure I never say like go to. Anyway, when was the Gochuucast North Korea episode? Anyway, yeah, so it's the end of this that conversation and the end of this episode. If you enjoyed, then you should subscribe on the YouTube channel here, or if you're on audio only, you should follow if your platform lets you do that. I don't know the fuck like Apple Podcasts and stuff actually works, but I know on Spotify you can follow. I can see that on the analytics. If you want to go from YouTube to audio only, you can go into the description. Our Anchor link will be there, and it'll redirect you to Spotify for podcasters because I don't want to change those links. I'm too lazy. But it still redirects you, so it's fine. And if you're on the audio only side of things, you want to check out the YouTube. It's Is the Order, an anime podcast. You know, can't miss it. We're the only one. Next week we have the 1 year anniversary. I don't know. I guess we'll discuss if what we're gonna fucking do for that. Probably won't. It won't be anything too crazy. This is we have a budget of $0, so. Actually, no. We have a budget of like $5.
Okay.
that we can't access.
Yeah, that we can't access. Yeah. I think I can access the $5 actually, but we can't gain any more funds right now through the podcast anyway. Yeah, but thank you for watching, and we hope to see you in another week. I hope you also enjoyed this new format. I think we did well. We got to an hour and a half talking about bullshit. Yeah, but yeah, thank you, and hope to see you another one. Goodbye.